Hi, it's Mrs. Cavanaugh, and I teach probability and statistics, period 2, period 4, and period 5. This is definitely not the ideal environment for me to be teaching. I know that this is not the ideal environment for people to be learning, but we are going to control what we can control, and I'm hoping that the things that I have put in place that I'll describe for you today will help students stay on top of things and maybe learn how to learn independently in a way, but also hopefully throughout the course of this video, I am able to emphasize to everyone that I'm available and I want to support everyone. And this is just like any other year where I'm teaching, and I'm not just teaching math, but we're teaching a set of skills that is transferable to the real world. So that's part of it, and we're living in it. So hopefully we'll make it through together. I am going to talk about my syllabus for a little bit. I am going to go over the course description briefly, and then just talk about some Zoom expectations, talk about our calendar, and just the other organizational pieces that we have available to us on Schoology. The first thing we'll look at is the syllabus, so you know how to access it and how to navigate it. So I made this interactive syllabus. I got a little carried away because I learned how to embed these videos into a document, and I think it's perfect for the format that I wasn't necessarily able to be there with the students when they were reading my syllabus like I normally am. So if you see a video here, all you have to do is double click and you will see that there's a playback option. And when you hit play, then it just it becomes a YouTube video and you can control the playback that way. I have a cover letter here that I have read aloud if you choose to do for that option. The table of contents here is linked. So when you click on one of these links, you just click this bookmark option and it takes you to that part of the document. So you can navigate through, you can always come back to this and say, oh yeah, what was the late work policy again? And then you click to that and go straight to that in the document. For now, the content area summary is here. We are going to be talking about data, statistics. We are going to be talking about one variable and two variable. How do you display that data? How do you work with that data? And then we roll in the second semester into probability. And I would say that this is one of those classes that the content really translates to real life. So I get really excited about that, because if students don't love math or they don't love algebra, then this is sort of a little bit different. So there's downsides to that, but I also think there's definite perks to that as well. We will be living in Schoology. There is a textbook, and if you want it, you can have it. But I did tell the textbook distribution people that I don't really use the book. The book is fine, but it doesn't really line up with the curriculum as the district has written it. And I also find it to be a little less than user-friendly for all levels of learners. With that being said, we will be using Schoology. I've created a lot of materials for the course, and also we'll supplement a little bit with Khan Academy. And the main reason for that is I like Khan Academy because it self-checks. And so I'll start emphasizing this cycle of practice for students where they need to maybe go to Khan Academy and do things, because as soon as they put the answer in, it'll tell them if they're right or wrong. And that immediate feedback is something that I cannot provide in the moment like I would in the classroom. So, okay, this is our Schoology page. This is specifically period 5. So if you're looking at this and you're familiar with the schedule and maybe some of these hours are not lining up, I will show you period 5 and I will show you period 2 and 4, because we do have different days that we're live with those periods. But generally, this is all exactly the same. And you're going to be doing everything exactly the same. So on the Schoology page, we have the course headquarters folder, which I know is not very often visited, but it has some good things in it. So we have the syllabus here. When the students click it, it'll make them a copy. And then the additional resources, I split this up to technology, mental health, and then course specific. There's a running list of course vocabulary here. It is all the definitions for the entire course for the entire year. So I'm a big supporter of using vocabulary correctly in the classroom. So that's why that's there. Khan Academy, Desmos is here, and it's not necessarily something that we're going to use that often, but if you don't have a graphing calculator tool, then that one is something you should bookmark. Back to the main page, materials. So that's course headquarters, and our Zoom meetings will be here. They are here. I have Zoom meeting links in this folder. There's a different link for our actual class, and then I have office hours period 1, which is all outlined in my syllabus, so it's just a different link for that. And then I put all the recordings here. And for about 2 weeks, we'll keep them there. Okay. So before we delve into what the marking period folder looks like, the main thing that I want people to know is that I update with a dorky video update every single morning. So you don't necessarily have to read the update. You can watch the video or both or whatever. So it'll be there. I talk to the students every morning. And that's very important. It has a lot of important information. The next thing is the calendar. The calendar is going to have not only our regularly scheduled Zoom times, but it will have, if it loads here, it will have the optional Zooms. And I'm going to show, let's show period 5 first. So this is the period 5 calendar. My office hours is, it tells you the time, 7:40. So it's period 1. The link is there. So I have that for every day that I have office hours. And then if it's an optional Zoom, it'll say optional prob stat. If it says mandatory, or if it just says Zoom prob stat, it will be mandatory. Let's see. So that is for 5th period. It's B and D days. And then I just don't think we're meeting enough. And so I have this optional time built in. I want to try to do at least 1 optional period a week. And so I just really, really, really encourage the use of the calendar and the updates and everything like that, just because it's all in the same place and we're all on the same page. It's a little bit more confusing. I can only look at period 2 and period 4 together. So I apologize. But if you have any questions about period 2 or period 4 calendar or events or anything like that, please reach out to me. Speaking of reaching out to me, my email address is on the top of the syllabus. It's Cavanaugh, so you always have it. Schoology. Every single week is structured the same. I worked for the Downingtown Cyber Academy this summer, and I followed those same exact guidelines, and that's what's outlined in the Downingtown Online Learning Plan. So for each week, I have the week folder, I have the title, the description, and then I put in parentheses the letter days, because we can't always just be operating on week by week. We have to know the day. So I put those in there as well. And when you go specifically in the week, let's look at this week. It looks like a lot. I mean, admittedly, I get it. It looks like a lot. But I'm going to always have the schedule up here. We'll talk about the learning objectives. That's first, so students will be able to. And then the tasks match everything in the folder specifically. And what you don't see here, but what you will see is a breakdown of day. So with these tasks, I'll put Monday 1, 2, 3, Tuesday 4, 5, Wednesday, whatever. So I will have the day. I did get a request, and I believe that that's better than what I have here. So from now on, that's what you'll see. And if you're here and you click on the agenda, all you have to do is is to hit next. So if the content seems long and it's a lot of reading, I screencast the instructions and I make some clarifications. And so all of this can be worked through. And as soon as the students are done with this, they hit next and they go to the next thing. There's another video, take notes. And so they're pretty much everything's really specific and laid out. So students that are good at independent learning can just follow this bit by bit. Now, the students that are not comfortable necessarily with learning online, I get it. So I'm available by Schoology message. I'm available by email. And the Zooms are going to be extremely important then. And the office hours are going to be extremely important. Reaching out to me is going to be the only way that I know that students are struggling. This is my 10th year teaching. So I really rely on those person-to-person interactions to see what my students are doing, how are they feeling, what are their strengths, is something off with them. I don't have any of that, none. So I need students and parents and everybody in the community to send up a flare when people are overwhelmed. If something's not organized, if you can't find something, if you're overwhelmed, if it's too much, if it's not enough, I need to know. With that being said, I need a full level of engagement on Zooms. So the way we've been running Zooms is, my philosophy has been that I don't necessarily want to just talk on the Zoom the whole time, because I could make a video. So there's been some communication between myself and the students, and I check their progress. I see where we're at. I go over concepts. I take questions, and sometimes I've been calling on students, and I've been telling students to put things in the chat or to take a poll. If the students are on the Zoom and maybe they have their video on or not, the thing I care about is that they are there and that they are participating. If I call on them, they have to answer within a reasonable amount of time. Obviously, it takes a couple seconds, a couple Mississippi to unmute yourself and then start talking and everything else. But if it seems like you're there and I ask you a question and you're not there, that's not okay. The other thing is, we've been corresponding in the chat, and so I've been asking students questions, and then they either self-assess or they answer the question in the chat privately or to everybody. Either way, I see it. Some students haven't been doing that, which means that they might not be there, which is not okay. So it's just a matter of engaging and communicating and making sure that we maximize that time that we do have together. I will say that the optional Zooms have been very productive for people who have been joining them so far. So I recommend that as well. So the syllabus has all the data, all the stuff. The syllabus has all the information that you need to navigate through this course successfully. I am available to also help with that process. I'm pretty much available anytime throughout the day, okay? Schoology message, email, and that's what it comes down to. I keep saying that same thing over and over again. And I keep telling your students, when in doubt, reach out. So if you have any questions, you need anything, I am here, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna get through it. And it's gonna be awesome.